Alright, so let's go through a couple of things here. Alright, so when we talk about our stance from our start, right, and you'd like to have that little bit of openness, and that's fine. Just make sure that when the ball is, 10 feet out in front of you, that you're kind of ready to go. As far as for getting into your launch position, make sure if your hands are going to start that much forward, that's kind of a college thing. I would just make sure they get back there, right? Especially with you, because sometimes in faster pitching, I think you're late, and some of that's because you don't get your hands in a good you get them there, but I bet you don't get them there every time. So maybe just play around with getting them back earlier and getting them in a good launch position earlier, right? So I think that starting out a little bit is fine, making sure those hands get that nice separation back, because even from that point, the thing I would probably do is I would take your hands and I would tweak that barrel just to drop the angle a little bit and get more on plane. Because with you have a tendency, when this is that tall, it has a tendency to collapse and drag on you. If you have it in a better slot, I think you can have better angle to be kind of that more on plane sooner and get behind the baseball. No, a little more angle, not so tall with the bat, more of a drop, a little bit more drop of the angle. See how steep it is right there? When it starts right here and you're that steep with the bat, I mean, ideally you want to be, and in contact, you want to be pretty much flat, right? You're going to kind of be in here. But look how steep it is to get it right in there, right? If it's more kind of this angle, then it can kind of be in there. I think it might help out a little bit. All right, so let's look at land foot. Let's make sure we're not going to be drifting. So when you land foot right there, I'll put a line right here and a line right there. So I think you do a decent job of that. But the biggest thing is when I go, you can see that bat angle really goes this way. And at this position, your bat angle should be kind of there. So it's kind of here, and wow, we're going to kind of work down and through the baseball. But your head position's a lot better than yesterday. You can tell that you've kind of made a conscious effort on your posture to keep your posture, and that's going to help that. Now we just have to really work on that path of that ball, of that barrel. See right there? Right? So look at this. So now that's there, right? The ball is here. I mean, how are we going to keep that level? That's just going to drag and be underneath, right? So contact. Whoops. Right? And that's really what I think we need to work on. So we look at contact. Contact is pretty good. You got really good posture right there. This is a little bit straight in regards to your legs this way. And that's okay. I'd probably close off that front side a little bit more, but be more athletic. Just have a little bit more angle in here, and this part of your shoe kind of up towards the sky a little bit more. If I look at your angles, I'm going to go from the feet up. Your head's a little bit forward, and that's something to do with why you sometimes can't handle that inside pitch, because you're a little bit forward. Your head finishes more on your front leg. See that? Right? And we need it to finish more on your back leg. So if this has a better arc to it, then this is going to keep the head back a little bit. And that might also help with keeping your head back, keeping that barrel in a better position as we're working kind of down and through the baseball. So this is good. You load this up. Again, I would probably drop this angle into that bat, drop it down in a little bit of a turn, create that more whip effect. See how you go forward with your head? When that front foot lands, see how you're already going down? So let's draw a circle. The goal is you want to keep your head in the circle, right? You'll see that you're going to come really out of the circle to try to keep it to where, if you want to start down a little bit more, you can. But see, you're pretty athletic right there, right? But you see, look at your head is already on your front side. So you're going to lock yourself up so those inside pitches. So you're here, but I can't get my extension. But if you kept your head back, it makes me to be able to get the hand handle those inside pitches better, and that's what I really want to work on you, is really teaching you how to hit an inside pitch and keeping your barrel more flat through the zone. Mhm. Right, they're kind of more the flares. Right. And a lot of times that would be of a point of contact thing, but if you go forward on that front foot, and that one's a little bit better, right? The difference on that one is we stayed back a little bit more on our head position, a little bit sideways, a little bit steep with the bat angle right here, right? And that's going to be hard to get that nice and flat. See, we got to control that, to keep that barrel. Just the goal is that you don't have to, but the goal is to keep the barrel above the hands as long as possible. It's gonna get below the ball, or it's gonna get below your hands, but you want to kind of start it and do a better job of this thing kind of stand up as I'm working down and through behind the baseball, and as I go through it, then I'm going to kind of plane out compared to at contact. Most of the time at contact, it's below your hands. So let's really try to keep it above that hand position a little bit. And one thing, too, is we can do a better job as you go through, try not to drop your hands so much. See how your hands are dropping? Try to keep your hands up longer and let the barrel kind of go down to it compared to your hands dropping and kind of going up to it a little bit.